Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I'm coming to you with another range report. This range report is on the CZ P-07. This gun, like the video I did just a couple days ago on the CZ P-09, is a borrowed gun or a lent gun to the channel from one of my local subscribers and Patreons, Paulo, who has been so gracious to allow me to borrow 6 or 7 of his very nice high-end firearms to kind of have a little bit of time on the range and do some range reports to bring you guys content, which is really kind of him, so I really appreciate it. The CZ P-07 is the compact version of the CZ P-09, which is in turn a polymer version of the CZ-75. So I guess this kind of makes us a polymer version of the CZ P-01. It's chambered in 9mm and is hammer fired. So, had a chance to spend some time with this at the range, and I have a few thoughts. I'm going to start off with the same issues I had with the P-09. It's 2 issues. Number 1, the inverted slides. The inverted slide on this gun, which means that the slide rails run inside the frame versus outside the frame, caused me to, number 1, have an issue with racking the slide. You don't really get a large purchase area on the side of the slide here to rack it with. So I got these kind of beefier hands, and so when I come over a slide, I like to have lots of gripping surface to rack that slide. On the CZs, it's just a very narrow area that you get, and that's just because of the action and the way that the slide rides within the frame. It's not a deal breaker. I don't think it is anything that takes away from the function of the gun or makes it any harder. It's just something that you have to be aware of and train. Another thing that deals with this inverted slide rail is that the compact version, I think, kind of lends itself more towards concealed carry, but because it has the inverted rails, this is actually a pretty, I think, beefy and thick gun for a compact gun, which would be, I guess, equivalent to about a Glock 19 size pistol. I know it's not going to come across here on camera, but here is the rear of the firearm here. It's just a little bit beefier in the slide and in the frame. I'm trying to get it where the lighting is here. There you go. So it just feels that way, and that's one of the dimensions you have to be aware of when you're going to conceal carry a gun. Usually the length of the slide is not an issue. It's usually the length of the grip and the thickness. So if you were going to buy one of these, especially for concealed carry, that's just one of the issues that I would definitely address. Take a look at holster options and decide if you're going to carry this inside the waistband, outside the waistband, and what type of covering. The thickness might get in the way for some people and your carry preference. Just be aware of that. Another thing that Paulo did, and he did this also on his P-09, is he added the Cajun Gunworks trigger, which is one of the most common upgrades that people do on all of their CZ pistols. It definitely makes the gun and the trigger feel pretty good. So the double action pull, I'll do this on camera again, is actually really light, very light for a double action pull. It's very smooth. You kind of have a little bit of a predictable break on that, but in single action, you have this exceptionally short and exceptionally light trigger. But my problem with it, just like I said on the P-09 review, is that I can't necessarily feel the wall. It goes to a point, and then that's definitely the wall right there. It goes to a point, it stops, but then it has a little bit more pull, and then it breaks. It doesn't feel like a glass rod breaking, if that makes any sense. That's usually the analogy that the people have when it comes to a single action pull. The wall seems to be just a slight mushy to me, and it prevents me from really getting the very best groupings. I just cannot seem to predict it that well. I don't think that's bad. I know because I know a lot of people absolutely love this trigger, but like the P-09, I would definitely like to try the stock trigger in this, which is the duty style trigger. Sometimes, as I mentioned, while those might be a little bit more mushy in the take-up, a lot of times I kind of find that I can predict where they're going to break a little bit better. But that's just me, and because I kind of love military and duty style guns, I tend to like the triggers that go into those guns a lot. So those are really the only two complaints I have about this. The performance of this gun, outstanding. Ran everything. I fed through it. Groupings were great. The gun is way more accurate than I am as a shooter. It has a very ample capacity. The witness holes on this magazine say 15, but I believe this has an extended base plate. I think it has 17 in this, which is excellent for a compact handgun. I believe also the fit finish and aesthetics of this firearm are very nice. It pretty much is just like the P-09. CZ also offers this in a number of different frame colors. So if you were looking for, I believe it's Urban Gray, they offer an FDE, and they may offer something else. The CZ aficionados might be able to comment in the comment section below and tell me what all their colors and options are. This gun comes with a decocker, which if I was going to use this for concealed carry, I definitely would want the decocker for concealed carry. But on the P-09 that I reviewed, I definitely would want a safety, because that would put it a little bit closer to what the XM17 Trials gun were. But that's more me as a military collector versus someone that would buy this for a concealed carry. Let's talk about a couple things that come in the box too, which is nice, which makes this gun a little bit more modular for some people. And that is, it comes with multiple back straps. Okay, so there's a couple of different back straps in this case. You guys know what it all looks like. You guys have seen Glocks and all that, the Gen 4 and 5 stuff. The issue I have with changing out the back straps is that when you push the pin out to replace the back strap, it actually is holding in the mainspring. So there's a little plunger at the bottom where the pin goes through. And when you punch that out, the whole mainspring goes flying out. I had a very difficult time holding that in when I punched the spring out. I just don't have enough hands to do that with. So it's a little bit more complicated system than a Glock. I kind of wish it was closer to a Glock where just the pin deals with the back strap. But they've kind of integrated the mainspring housing into the back strap takedown feature. I could do without that. I want to say there's probably a way to fix it, but on the good side, it does make replacing the mainspring and the hammer strut a little bit easier. You can kind of get into all those mechanisms, especially if you want to run different mainsprings for lightening up the trigger or kind of experimenting with a bunch of different spring weights. Some people can do that, especially if they want to tune their gun for competition. That actually does make it kind of nice, but I kind of think for a duty gun, especially if you're going to experiment with different back straps, it kind of becomes a pain. But once again, small little complaint. Not enough for me to say, oh, it's a terrible gun or anything. So, is this a gun that I'm going to buy for my own personal collection? Probably not. While I definitely do want a P-09 because of the full size, which is my absolute favorite size of handgun. I love full-size duty handguns. This gun would be a concealed carry piece. And for me, I already have enough concealed carry guns or guns that fit this philosophy of use that I like a little bit better or that I'm more comfortable with. Everything from a USP compact to a Glock 19. So I don't think that this necessarily fits into my collection. I could wholeheartedly say though, this is an extremely high quality firearm. Not my favorite CZ I've shot. That would definitely go to the P-09 as of right now. But I could see what would be attractive to a lot of people with this particular gun, because I know the compact size handguns are so popular. You get a huge capacity, the ability to conceal carry. It's just that it's a very nice balanced gun between the length, the height, the weight. It shoots very well, manageable recoil. This thing has tons of features from the Picatinny rail in the front. All of the sights are easily replaced. So it gives you as an end user tons of options, and of course the aftermarket on these guns is also quite robust. So if you really want to, change something out of it, just like Paulo did with the Cajun Works trigger, you have a ton of options out there. So I can see why this is such a popular handgun. So with all that said, and even saying it doesn't really have a place in my collection, and I probably will not get one. How do I rank it on my 0 to 5 star kind of ranking system? I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. Now the reason is, it's an exceptional handgun, great fit and finish, performance outstanding. My issues with it were going to be compounded with the same thing I always say about the CZs. Once again, low slide purchase area. On this one, I'm not a big fan of the backstrap system with the mainspring that pops out. It's a little bit thick for a concealed handgun for me. This is my personal preference. And I think those three things get 1 star kind of knocked off the evaluation, but it's still an exceptionally high quality handgun. You could not go wrong with this gun, especially if you do like CZs. But because it's compact, and I think of it as a concealed carried handgun, the thickness and the other issues just make me give it 4 out of 5 stars. But in no way does that impugn the quality of this gun. Exceptional quality. I really can't say enough about it. The slide, the frame lockup is outstanding because of the inverted rails. Lots of options, just great shooting handgun. I'm really glad I got to experience this, mainly because I now know it doesn't fit in my collection, but I can definitely appreciate it. So there you go. So that is my range report on the CZ P-07. It's also my thoughts. Now, I know there's a lot of CZ people out there that absolutely love this gun. Now, if your opinions of this gun are different than mine, please know it's okay. We can have different opinions, but I think I'm really singing the praises of this thing. But I know there's always going to be somebody in the comments section below telling me how wrong I am, and that's okay. I know how the firearms not necessarily the industry, I guess firearms YouTube community is. Just a bunch of people out there that know everything and definitely want to belittle anybody that disagrees with them. But that's okay. We can still be friends, right? Anyway, so this is my range report on the CZ P-07. Outstanding firearm, 4 out of 5 stars. It might be the gun for you if you like CZs, looking for something compact that's well balanced. So there you go. So let me know if you have any questions, and do you guys own a P-07 or any other of the polymer framed CZ pistols? I'd love to hear your comments and your kind of reviews in the comments section below. So tell me about them. So there you go. So as always, thanks for watching.